Yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy Rob coming back at you once again with another live stream. So before we get started, you already know what to do. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the bell icon twice. Smash the like button, share this video out to all of your followers, and let's get it cracking. All right. So shout out to everybody that is in the room. It's good to see each and every one of you guys. If you can hear me okay, please give me that thumbs up or a radiation emoji in the chat. If you guys cannot hear me, then give me that thumbs down or angry face, and I will try to get the sound together. All right. Real quick, while y'all are doing that, I'm gonna shout out everybody that's in the building. We got Carlton Way up in here. We got Lloyd Sky 9 in the building. We got Denise Scales in the house. Shout out to you, Denise. We got Volvo 2 Love, and we got Carlton Way. Did I say Carlton already? I think I said Carlton already, but it's all good though. So Carlton says Democrats are treating Trump like he's Kang the Conqueror, trying to ban him into the eternal abyss. That's hilarious, man. But it's true. And it's crazy because all it shows is how ridiculously scared they are when it comes to this. You know what I'm saying? It don't make any damn sense. And the thing is that they've been trying this all over the place, and it's just not working. It's just not working. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Alonda. What's good with it? So we're gonna check out two articles and make sure you guys stick around in the stream because it'll take you into undocumented, which is gonna start shortly after this. All right. So, how many people heard about what happened in Colorado? If you guys heard about what happened in Colorado, give me a thumbs up. If you guys didn't hear what happened in Colorado, then give me a thumbs down. Now, we all know that Colorado tried to remove Trump from the ballot using the 14th Amendment. Ironically, we got 14 people in here. They tried to use the 14th Amendment to get him off the ballot. And at first, it worked. But like we predicted, it doesn't look like it's going to hold up. Colorado puts Trump back on 2024 GOP primary ballot while ruling is appealed. And we already know how that appeal is going to turn out. And we already know why that appeal is going to turn out the way that it's going to turn out. But let's see what they're talking about on this news clip real quick. You guys don't have any audio? If you guys got audio, give me a thumbs up. If y'all don't have audio, give me a thumbs down. Because I can hear it. I got audio on my end. You guys able to hear me? Let me see. Hold on real quick. Let me check the mic real quick. Audio. Are you guys able to hear me? Okay, you can hear me now. Shout out to Denise. Denise, you can hear me now, but you guys can't hear the video. I got a feeling. I know why the sound is messed up, but I can't confirm or deny. Let's try it again. I'm a push play. Let me know if you guys can hear it, okay? Hold on. Wait. All right, cool. Still no audio? All right, hold on. We're going to try something else. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Now, if you guys can hear me, then give me a thumbs up in the comment section. If you guys can't, then give me a thumbs down. All right, I'm going to try to run this video back again. Let me see. Sorry about the sound. I don't know why it's doing that. All right, let's try it again.
Agreed that Trump.
Let me see.
We've got some more news on this today, the Colorado case. We've got some more news on this. We've got some more news on this today, the Colorado case in particular. The Colorado.
All right, are you guys able to hear that? If you guys can hear that, give me a thumbs up. If you guys can't, give me a thumbs down. Shout out to Dre D. Shout out to Ty. Shout out to Jacoby. What's good with y'all? Oh, you guys can hear it now? Okay, good. All right, I don't know why I was doing that.
Republican Party has challenged its appeal to the Supreme Court. What do we expect from here? How fast could the Supreme Court take this up? Does the Supreme Court
good
take
with the
this
Iron
up?
Will?
Well, it's a very good question because there is an exit ramp that not only Colorado might prefer, but the court itself might prefer. Colorado's Secretary of State agreed that Trump will stay on the ballot if the Supreme Court does not rule before the January 5th certification date for the state. And so what the position of the state is that unless the court agrees with the Supreme Court of Colorado, which is extremely unlikely, or declines any review, which is also unlikely, that Trump will remain on the ballot because there won't be any action. But what happens after that then becomes rather interesting because Colorado could move and say, look, well, this is now moot because there's no change on the ballot. People are going to be allowed to vote that way. And they could then avoid review by the Supreme Court. I think most of us believe that the Supreme Court is going to reverse the Colorado Supreme Court.
Now, that's something that I said that I believe is going to happen. If this goes to the Supreme Court for multiple reasons, I think that it's going to get reversed. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that if the Supreme Court reviews this, it's going to get reversed?
So they may actually prefer to moot this out by having the court run out the clock. It's a very short period of time that the Supreme Court has to deal with this.
Now, the thing is that even though it's a very short time that the Supreme Court has to deal with it, being that Trump is the GOP's #1 candidate, I think that they would probably fast track getting that done. They would probably probably prioritize that and put that ahead of some of the other stuff that they have to do and get that taken care of before anything else. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says Colorado's Secretary of State said Thursday that former President Donald Trump will remain on the 2024 primary ballot for certification next week as the state Republican Party appeals a court ruling that had found him ineligible for office earlier this month. All right. With the appeal filed, Donald Trump will be included as a candidate on Colorado's 2024 presidential primary ballot when certification occurs on January 5th of 2024, unless the U.S. Supreme Court declines to take the case otherwise affirms the Colorado Supreme Court's ruling, Jenna Griswold's office said in a press release. The Colorado Supreme Court ruled 4-3 on December 19th that former president could not receive the Republican nomination because he had unconstitutionally participated in an insurrection against the United States government on January 6th of 2021. Section 3 of the 14th Amendment includes a clause that bars those who have taken oath of office from being elected again if they have violated the Constitution by, quote unquote, engaging in an insurrection or rebellion. Donald Trump engaged in insurrection and was disqualified under the Constitution from the Colorado ballot. The Colorado Supreme Court got it right. This decision is now being appealed, Griswold said in a separate statement. I urge the U.S. Supreme Court to act quickly given the upcoming presidential primary election. Now, again, the Supreme Court justices, most of those justices that are sitting on the bench, all right, we got 17 likes and we got 26 people watching. If we could get that up to 30, that would be great. So now here it says on Wednesday, the Colorado Republican Party asked the Supreme Court to overturn the ruling from their state's high court, saying the party has been irreparably harmed by the decision to disqualify the 77-year-old ex-president. The state has interfered in the primary election by unreasonably restricting the party's ability to select its candidates, states the 45-page petition from the Colorado GOP and the nonprofit American Center for Law and Justice. Now, this nonprofit American Center for Law and Justice, let me ask you guys a question. Do you guys think that that's a think tank? If you guys think that that's a think tank, give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't think that it's a think tank, give me a thumbs down. That's probably a think tank. But it's interesting how all of these political parties, the GOP, the Democrats, all of these people, they all have these think tanks and they all have these nonprofit organizations that nobody heard of until it's time to pay some money. So why do I say that? I say that because, like I've been saying forever, I don't think that it would be a bad investment for us to start coming up with think tanks. You know what I'm saying? So now here it says, as a natural and inevitable result, the state has interfered with the party's ability to place on the general election ballot the candidate of its choice. And it has done so based on a subjective claim of insurrection the state lacks any constitutional authority to make. The High Court has yet to make a decision on the ruling, which would need to occur before a January 5th deadline for the candidate's name to be certified by both parties for the Colorado ballot. The Colorado court, in its decision, cited a prior ruling by Supreme Court Justice Neil Gorsuch, who oversees the 10th Circuit Court of Appeals, which includes the Centennial State. Attorneys for Trump have yet to appeal the Colorado ruling to the Supreme Court. The Colorado Supreme Court stayed its ruling, rendering Trump ineligible until January 4th of 2024, but the U.S. Supreme Court may still issue its own stay of the decision ahead of its first conference day of the new year, which falls on January 5th. The Centennial State will host its primary on March 5th, the day after the former president is scheduled to appeal in Washington, D.C. federal court on his 4-count indictment for trying to overturn the 2020 election results. Trump remains the favorite for the Republican 2024 nomination by more than 50 percentage points, according to Real Clear Politics polling average, with competitors Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley a distant second and third place, respectively. The former president is also leading President Biden in recent surveys, including in several swing states that he lost to the Democrat in 2020. So now this last portion of this article here really, if you ask me, details a lot of the motivation behind what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Hurricane IQ. What's good with it, bro? And again, they continue to use these silly tactics. And all these silly tactics are doing is just making Trump more of a difficult opponent for them to handle. I really don't understand like who's coming up with these strategies for the Democrats, but whoever it is that's coming up with these strategies for the Democrats need to ask for their money back. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Deneen. Get you some. I'm sorry. Shout out to Denise. Get you some sleep. So how many people heard about this? What happened in Maine? Maine strips Trump from the ballot, inflaming legal war over his candidacy. So again, this is something that's going on nationwide. And what this shows is the same thing that we've been saying. When the Democrats are backed into a corner, instead of actually being competitive, instead of actually coming with some type of strategies, instead of actually competing, they will attempt to weaponize infrastructure to subdue their opponent and to take options away from the voters, or take options away from the people who are engaging in politics. You see them do it in Chicago, and they're doing it here with Trump. All right. So Maine strips Trump from the ballot, inflaming legal war over his candidacy. Activists and voters have filed numerous lawsuits. I don't know why that just happened. Hold on real quick. Refresh this page. There we go. All right, there we go. Maine's top election official ejected former President Donald Trump from the state's ballot on Thursday, declaring him ineligible to serve as president because of his role in the January 6, 2021 attack on Congress. Okay. Let me see. Did I go down? Okay, yeah, there we go. The ruling by Maine Secretary of State Shinna Bellows, a Democrat, is certain to inflame a roaring national debate over whether Republican presidential frontrunner should be allowed to hold power again. Now, here goes my question. How many of y'all think that this will hold? Shout out to my man, Deformed Pretty Boy, and shout out to Kai. What's good with it? If you ask me, the same thing that happened in Colorado is going to happen here. And then again, once they get to the final bosses of the court, which is the Supreme Court is going to strike this down. This is not going to hold, if you ask me. The decision makes Maine the second state in 2 weeks to disqualify Trump's candidacy due to the constitutional bar on office holders who supported or engaged in insurrection or rebellion. Last week, the Colorado Supreme Court barred Trump from the state's Republican primary ballot under a similar interpretation of the 14th Amendment. Bellows' decision on Thursday increases the pressure on the U.S. Supreme Court to step in and ultimately decide Trump's fate, as the Colorado GOP petitioned the justices this week to do. Unlike the Colorado ruling, this one comes from an individual office holder affiliated with the Democratic Party. And Maine, unlike Colorado, has been a presidential battleground in the recent years. Under an unusual state law, it cast one of its electoral college votes for Trump in both 2016 and 2020. Now, again, this is another example of the Democrats weaponizing infrastructure when they have no way of competing with their rivals, because this is what they do. And shout out to Hurricane IQ. Hurricane IQ says, I hope Illinois doesn't try this. The downstate citizens will not agree to this. I wouldn't be surprised if every single Democrat state tried this. I wouldn't be surprised. I would be surprised if they didn't try it. And even if they are not successful in getting him off the ballot, they're going to continue to do this because they think that by doing this, they'll be able to somehow slow the momentum that he has going down. But they're not going to be able to. Then it's not going to affect anything, just like how we're looking at right now. Trump was quick to attack the decision with an aide calling it partisan election interference, but his removal from the ballot in 2 states remains a stark illustration of his deep legal and political vulnerabilities. Now, I find that interesting, right? Because actually it doesn't, to me. It doesn't. To me, these removals don't show anything about Trump other than the fact that he has the Democrats terrified. That's the only thing that this shows me about Trump. What else this shows me is that the Democrats would rather take extreme and unconstitutional measures than actually attempt to give any type of appeal to do something for black people to actually earn these votes. The Democrats are so anti-black that they try to use unconstitutional measures to take their competition off of the ballot instead of actually offering anything of substance to black people. If that doesn't tell you the story about the Democrats and how they get down, I don't know what does. Shout out to Patricia Slade, B1. They'd walk through fire before they try to do something for black people. This is some of the most ridiculous political theater that I've ever seen in my entire life. But they would rather do this than offer some policy that would benefit foundational black Americans. People should be taking note of this. People should be taking note of this. Facts. Shout out to Facebook user. Facebook user says Democrats screwed themselves. Big facts. If y'all agree with Facebook user, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree, give me a thumbs down. So now here says Bello, who made the call in Maine because state law requires the secretary to adjudicate ballot challenges to candidates' eligibility, defended her decision in her determination. I'm mindful that no Secretary of State has ever deprived a presidential candidate of ballot access based on Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, Bellows wrote. I am also mindful, however, that no presidential candidate has ever before engaged in an insurrection. The decision will almost assuredly be appealed by Trump. But by becoming the second state to kick Trump off of the ballot, it marks a major milestone for the effort by activists to bar Trump from seeking the Oval Office again, breaking out of the confines from an isolated incident in one state to the beginning of a pattern. Actually, the beginning of the pattern is this not holding up. And we talked about that in the last stream. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Kai. Kai says Biden best chance is against Trump, according to the polls. That's interesting. And I can see that because the people who actually support Biden will probably come out more if Biden is going against Trump because they know what type of risk Trump poses to Biden winning. So I could actually see that being true, Kai. Bellows at times offered forceful arguments around Trump's political conduct as a defense of her decision. Trump's occasional requests that rioters be peaceful and support law enforcement do not immunize his actions, she wrote. Trump was aware of the tinder laid by his multi-month effort to delegitimize a Democratic election and then chose to light a match. She did, however, pause her own decision to strike Trump from the ballot in the state pending an appeal to the state judiciary. Activists and voters have filed numerous lawsuits around the country claiming that Trump is barred from office under the 14th Amendment's insurrection clause. That clause states that anyone who engaged in insurrection or rebellion after taking an oath of office to support the Constitution is forbidden from holding any public office. Bellows' decision followed an hours-long hearing in the state earlier this month in which Trump's attorneys argued that she doesn't have the discretion to make a decision on Trump's eligibility and that he hadn't participated in or engaged in an insurrection. The challenge to Trump's eligibility propels Bellows into the spotlight in an unusual way. Many of her Secretary of State colleagues across the country have similarly been pressured to kick Trump off of the ballot, but they've argued that the courts, not election officials, are the proper jurisdiction to make that call. So basically what it is that most of these Secretary of States, they want to do this, they would like to do this, but most of them have enough sense to realize that it's not within their jurisdictional responsibility or within their jurisdictional power to be able to do this. So they're trying to wait for the courts to do it. But we all know that the Supreme Courts, ultimately, when this goes through a bunch of appeals, it's going to be the Supreme Court that stops them from going through. At the state level, depending on this, if it's a Democrat state or not, Democrat states might actually put this through. But once this goes to the Supreme Court, the federal Supreme Court, all those Supreme Court justices are going to strike it down simultaneously. But Maine state law effectively has Bellows serve in a quasi-judicial role for eligibility challenges that many of her colleagues do not. In a statement, Trump campaign spokesperson Stephen Chung attacked Bellows as a former ACLU attorney, a virulent leftist, and a hyper-partisan Biden-supporting Democrat. He said the campaign will quickly file a legal objection in state court to prevent this atrocious decision in Maine from taking effect. Okay. A second state invoking the 14th Amendment to block Trump from the ballot makes it even more likely that the nation's top court will step in to adjudicate the dispute. So again, they're on the same page as I am with it. Colorado's justices pointedly noted that they were unlikely to have a final say. We are also cognizant that we travel in uncharted territory and that this case presents several issues of first impression, the Colorado majority wrote. The Colorado court temporarily stayed its own decision to give time Trump to appeal to the Supreme Court. On Wednesday, the Colorado GOP did just that, which means Trump will likely appear on the Colorado primary ballot while the high court deliberates if or how to decide the case. Bellows references the Colorado case in her explanation, writing that her decision could soon be rendered a nullity by the decision of the United States Supreme Court. So what it seems like is that all of these people who are doing this, it seems like they all know that this is going to get struck down by the Supreme Court. They all know this. They all know that that's what's going to happen. But again, like I said, if you ask me why they're doing this as a scare tactic. They're doing this as a tactic that's going to be used to drain resources, and they're doing this as a tactic to attempt to slow the momentum that Trump has going for himself. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm assuming. And real quick, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to each and every one of you all watching. I really appreciate everybody. If you guys can, if everybody can take a moment and smash that like button. We got 37 people watching and we got 32 likes. If everybody can smash that like button and get us to 50 likes, that would be great. So now here it says also on Wednesday, Michigan's state Supreme Court ruled that Trump can appear on the state's primary ballot, finding that the Secretary of State there did not have the power to make that determination. While a significant legal headache, the Colorado ruling further rallied Republicans to Trump's side. So again, didn't we said that this was going to happen. Literally anything that the Democrats do to Trump, all it's going to do is going to increase his stock. It's going to make him appeal even more to the Republicans. It's going to galvanize their support even more. They still just don't get it. Let me ask you guys this. The simple fact of the way that the Democrats are handling this situation, the fact that the entire Democrat Party cannot handle Trump. My question is, how would they handle anything on a global scale if they can't handle one single person, a single individual? What that tells me is that they're incompetent. They lack the ability to come up with complicated strategies. They're not able to make quick recoveries and quick turnarounds to be able to solve situations, and that they're prone to lose. And if you see all of those traits in somebody who is appealing for you to support them, my advice would be to not support them. That would be my advice. Following the ruling, President Joe Biden said it was self-evident that Trump supported an insurrection, but that whether the 14th Amendment applies, I'll let the court make that decision. And you can tell, see, because do you notice how nobody wants to put their name on this? There's literally nobody that's standing behind this. They'll say, well, we're going to do XYZ action and we don't know what's going to happen. We'll just leave it to the court. If they were actually confident in what they were doing, they would make a statement and they would stand on it. Nobody's making a statement and nobody's standing on it. The only person that's making a statement and standing on it is Trump's crazy ass, which says a lot. The Democrats are so competent and they're so confident that these things are going to work, yet none of them will sign, seal, and deliver it. They'll say, well, this is what this says, but we're going to leave it to the court, though. I mean, we're going to leave it to the court. Nah, if you know something's going to happen, you're going to say it. You're not going to play no little tap dance word games. See, like, I don't play no tap dance word games. If I think something's going to happen, I say, this is what I believe is going to happen. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to give no abstract little nonsense so that if one thing happens, I can say, see, I told you this happened. Or if something else happens, I can say, see, I told you this happened. No, I'm going to pin it down. I'm going to tell you exactly what I think is going to happen and why I think it's going to happen. And there's not going to be any getting out of it. So if I'm wrong, then I'm just wrong. You know what I'm saying? But there's so many people, the Democrats and other people, you can see it on YouTube, that are scared to be wrong. They'll throw something out there with ambiguous and arbitrary predictions and then say, see, I told you so. Nah. You know what I'm saying? Pay very close attention to that and always be aware of that, because people always trying to do that and then they want to act like they got a crystal ball in front of them. You know what I'm saying? So just be aware of that. You know what I mean? Like I said, I've given you all the logical reasons of why I believe if these things end up going to the Supreme Court, that they're going to get struck down. The reason why I believe that is because, for one, the Supreme Court is majority Trump appointees. The Supreme Court is also majority conservative. Trump is the front runner for the GOP, so it's in their best interest to protect him. You know what I'm saying? And number three, there's never really been a court case that's had this interpretation of the law. And in liberal states, this isn't even flying. So once it gets to a conservative Supreme Court with mostly conservative justices, the chances of it flying are not very likely at all. Those are my reasons of why I'm saying that I do not believe that most of this stuff will stand once it gets to the Supreme Court. You know what I'm saying? I'm not giving y'all no two-pronged ultimatum where the answer can be one thing or the answer can be another thing. And in both situations, I give myself the leeway to say I told y'all so, like I got a crystal ball. I don't have no crystal ball. I got logic and I got what I believe based on patterns that I've seen, and that's what I think is going to happen. All right? So shout out to you all for showing up. If you're not subscribed to Undocumented, don't move a muscle. This stream will take you right into Undocumented. We're going to chop it up about this migrant crisis. I appreciate y'all. Smash that like button if y'all haven't. And as always, ladies and gentlemen,
walk up in the life. Yeah, I'm really talking my shit like I'm really him. Hold up. Look, walking this bitch like, hey. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like, hey. I'm really him. Don't believe me? Come and see me. Got 3 wishes from my genie. Now I'm on your local TV. Y'all on tour, got demons. Say she wanna come and see me when I'm in a local city. I'm like, pause though. Please step aside so they can see me. And I walk up in this bitch like, yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like I'm really him, on God. Walk up in this like, yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like I'm really him. I'm the realest from my city. That's on money, that's on TV, that's on mamas. Niggas don't believe me, come and see me. I been dodging all that fake. All these niggas working broke, but I been getting paid. All that know me from the street. Flexing for a feature, that's like every other week. Talk behind my back, I kick my feet up, have a seat. Cause at the end of the day, all these watching me as I walk up in this like, yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like I'm really him, on God. Walk up in this like, yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like I'm really him, on God. Walk up in this like, yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like I'm really him. Hold up. Look, walking this like, hey. Yeah, I'm really him. Talking my shit like, hey.